Hello everyone, welcome back to Lab for Crypto. Today we are going to do a short market update. We are going to check the recent price action of Bitcoin and basically see if this drop that we saw in the last couple of days is something that we need to be worried, and if not, if we can take advantage of this drop and prepare accordingly. Also, I want to check the correlation of Bitcoin with altcoins, and that it will give us an understanding of the direction of altcoins as well. And lastly, I wanted to check with you the countdown of the Bitcoin halving, so you will know when that huge event for Bitcoin occurs, and also when the rate cuts are expected for the US. It's really important to check the US economy as is the largest and it has the most impact. And the last time that we had an update, we saw that the expected rate cut was in June 2024, so in the next couple of months. And it's good for us to monitor this value and prepare if we saw any change, as in the last video we saw how the rate cuts are correlated with the price action of Bitcoin in the short and in the medium term. Let's dive into the graphs that I prepare, which we're going to see some graphs regarding Bitcoin, and as I said, also the correlation with altcoins. And I'm going to touch a little bit also on the spot ETFs using the dashboard that we have. So we'll check the inflows and outflows, as that also is a factor that we need to be monitoring all the time. Let's dive in. I'm going to start first with the price law, why not? And then I'm going to move all the graphs in sequence. Price power law model help us identify the fair value of Bitcoin. As always, if you want to know more information about the price power law equation, you will find it below the graph. And in short, shows that the price of Bitcoin increases as a function of time to a power of 5.71. But you can know more in the information section below the graph. The red line, which is the equation, the fair value, currently is at 65.05K, and the closing price of Bitcoin is slightly above at 16.13K. And why it's important for us to monitor the power law? For the short term and medium term now, we can see that the fair value of Bitcoin acted as a support to the closing price of Bitcoin in the last couple of months. And you'll see the blue line bouncing on the red line multiple times. And for me, if the fair value of Bitcoin does not hold, the next point of support is the 8-week SMA. I made a video last week about the importance of monitor the 8-week SMA, and the value of the 8-week SMA currently is at 61.5K. And the 8-week SMA is the only point that I will start to be worried about the short-term price action of Bitcoin. And if it does not hold, is where I'm going to change completely my strategy. But I will say more when the time comes, and hopefully will not come, as we are above it. But it's important for you to monitor this line and be prepared if the 8-week SMA does not hold. And always adjust your portfolio based on your risk tolerance. That is why you'll see our innovative model, which you can find in our platform, which it can help you know what is the risk level for each cryptocurrency, the 20 that we have in our platform every day, and be able to make informed decisions and be able to take advantage of opportunities of high risk, high leverage in the market, and take some profits when it's appropriate or accumulate when it's appropriate, but always based on your risk tolerance. As we don't give financial advice, we just give tools to help you make these informed decisions every day. And the current risk of Bitcoin, we see it drops. Zoom. is at 54% from the 82% that it was a couple of days ago. Not a couple of days, almost a month, but anyway, you got the point. Let's move to the other graphs, which these graphs, it will help us identify if this price drop of Bitcoin is something expected or not. And I have a couple of graphs to help you get an intuition behind these price drops of Bitcoin when we are at all-time highs, basically. And you will see the red line is the supply in loss, and the green line, the supply in profit. And when we are close to the all-time high, you will see 100% of the Bitcoin supply was in a profit. And you got it already. That is a selling pressure for Bitcoin. As people, when they are in a profit, they have an incentive to start exiting the market with some percentage of their portfolio. And that is something that we observe all the time. That is the previous all-time high of Bitcoin in 2021. And you will see again 99.8% of the Bitcoin supply was in a profit. Then you will see some price drop and again some price increase. And this is the mechanics of being close to the all-time high and people start taking some profits. And that is why it's important to have all these models and be one of these people that starting to taking some profits when the time occurs and do not lose these opportunities. And the other important aspect that I wanted to show you is let me bring you the graph of the hodl waves. Hodl waves separates the Bitcoin supply in various brackets. The 2 years to 3 years are basically coins that have not moved between 2 to 3 years. And we check the percentage of Bitcoin supply that was not moved between 2 and 3 years every day. And you will see, as we were approaching the Bitcoin spot ETF approval and the all-time high, there is some movement from these coins. And that is why you'll see them from almost 16%, 15.9 that it was. Now it's currently at 9.6%. And it's logical to have people that acquire Bitcoin in the previous bull cycle or at the bottom that it was in 2022 November to start to move that coins to exchanges or to a DeFi or whatever to start taking some profits as they were managed to acquire it at lower prices. And the 1 month to 3 month bracket from 4.3% that it was now is at 7.6%. And you see this movement from long-term holders to short-term holders. And you can play with these brackets and you will see this behavior, which, as I said, is something that is logical to have people who acquire Bitcoin at 16K, for example, starting to taking some profits. Moving forward, we can check the coin days destroyed. This is an easy visualization of the coins movement within a blockchain. So the importance of this equation that I'm highlighting now is that it gives a higher weight to coins that was sit in a wallet for a longer period of times. As when someone had Bitcoin to his wallet for 4 years and decided to move it now, is probably to take some profits. And as a result, we give a higher weight to these coins than some coins that moved yesterday or 2 days before, as usually these are for short-term trading purposes. And by observing the graph, you will see that we reach levels that we saw in 2021. And as a result, having some price dips along the way is something that is expected as I said also from the hodl waves and also on the profit and loss, people that acquire Bitcoin at lower prices, as we go closer to all-time high, they take some profits. And that is why you always have, in my opinion, take some profits and do not always expect that something will go forever up. I'm also a big believer in Bitcoin, of course. That's why we have built the platform. But it's good sometimes to separate a portfolio which you're going to have for the long term and you don't touch it as some that you can take advantage of these opportunities and increase even your Bitcoin holdings. You don't have to exit the market only to convert to USDT, but also to increase your Bitcoin allocation. But of course, based on your risk tolerance and your understanding of the market. That's why you have all these tools to help you make these decisions. Moving forward, I wanted to speak a little bit about alts. Altcoins are highly correlated, positively correlated with Bitcoin, which what that means, if Bitcoin goes up, altcoins goes up. And if Bitcoin goes down, altcoins goes down as well. And of course, with higher percentages, as Bitcoin, because it has a bigger market cap, is more difficult to move compared to a coin with a lower market cap. And if we check also in the platform, if we see the altcoin index, you will see that we are not in an altcoin season. And for people that they want to acquire some altcoins and they do not want to stick only with Bitcoin until we are sure that we have entered a full steam bull run, I will advise and basically suggest, not advise, that you will better stick with coins that outperform Bitcoin recently. And with recently, I mean the last couple of years, 1 or 2. And if you go to ratios, crypto vs crypto, you'll see that Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum for 2 years now. And there is no reason for you to take more risk and acquire an altcoin, which is Ethereum, to get lower returns. But if you compare it with Solana, for example, you will see that Solana did an amazing job recently compared to Bitcoin, as Solana outperforms Bitcoin for the last it's almost a year. You will see the line going down, which that means, and if we mouse over on it, one Bitcoin was able to acquire you 1.8k Sol, but today you can only get 356 Sol with one Bitcoin. And that illustrates with a simple way which altcoins have a higher chance outperforming Bitcoin in the bull run when we have this frenzy. As imagine a coin, an altcoin, outperform Bitcoin in the bear market. When you go to a bull run, their chances are even higher. If we check the dashboard for the spot ETFs, it was the first time that we had an outflow from the newborn ETFs. ARK Invest spot ETF had an outflow of 1,325 Bitcoin in the 2nd of April 2024. And of course, Grayscale, that basically from the day of the spot ETFs, they continue to have outflows. And the BlackRock and the other spot ETFs, they didn't have any outflows yet. They only have inflows. And if we check the third graph, which is the net flows each day, we had a red day on the 2nd of April 2024. That is an addition to the volatility that we saw 2 days ago from also the liquidations and the sell and the outflows from the spot ETFs. If we check the liquidation maps today, you'll see that the market's starting to cool off a bit. When 2 days ago we had more than 600 million in liquidations when we had this price dip of 9% for Bitcoin. And as the crypto market has a 100x leverage, 20x leverage, these volatile moves is something normal in the crypto market. So that's why you don't need to freak out. That's why I'm stating that. And I'm showing you this liquidation map to tell you that it seems that the market is starting to cool off. And that is evident also in our risk metric, which shows that from 83% that the risk of Bitcoin was, it dropped to 54%. And by closing this video, I want to remind you the Bitcoin halving is in 15 days. So expect some volatility in the market. Be prepared if Bitcoin goes down to watch the 8-week SMA, as it's really important. And if it goes to higher prices, it's good for you to use our risk tool to decide if acquiring Bitcoin is within your risk tolerance. And if not, starting to build in your strategy for altcoins in case we start to entering an altcoin season. If we go to the Fed tool, which basically tell us the probabilities for the rate cuts, we will see that still the market believes the first rate cut will be in June 2024. And as we know, risky assets tends to do extremely well in periods of quantity easing when the Fed are starting to inject liquidity in the market. And in my previous video as well, I explained that usually the market top occurs 1 month, the local top at least, occurs 1 month before the first rate cut. So if actually the first rate cut is going to happen in June, there is a probability that we will see a local top in May for Bitcoin. But unfortunately, because we only had one data point to take this conclusion, we need to be cautious and use other tools as well to make your decisions. But I wanted to tell you that based on the only one data point that we had for Bitcoin, this is what happened. And there is actually no, in my mind, no way to not assume that the same will happen, as risky assets in general tends to do and have the same behavior as the one that I mentioned. I think I covered everything what I was planning to say. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, as that will boost our content to be visible in more people. Leave a comment, and until next time, bye bye.